Welcome to There Goes the Neighborhood. My name's Keith Gostad. I'm the producer of the show. The things you will hear over the next hour represent the views of There Goes the Neighborhood and the people making them. All opinions and quotations in no way represent River West Radio and are the sole responsibility of the producer, the other hosts, the guests, the callers, the people that make the show happen. River West Radio is not liable for any legal issues arising from the content of this program, which is why our intro is only 15 seconds long. My fellow hosts of this show are Mario the Poet and Nick Waldron.
Yeah, I could have said my name. Hey, everybody, it's me, Mario. How you guys doing?
Good.
Hey, what's up? It's Nick. This is my first time ever being on the radio, so if you're betting on which one of us is gonna screw up first, I'm the pony to bet on.
See, give yourself a little credit, man. Come on now.
Yeah.
All right. See, first of all, like radio ain't that bad, like it's easy. It's really just like a matter of us talking and hanging out and everything. And like the reason that we got together to do this show in the first place, we should probably talk about a little bit. Like,
Right.
Mario and I had talked about doing a show, and then at some point I know Mario had been doing shows with Adam Asher. Stop texting, Mario. Come on.
I'm tweeting. Would you continue with your story, please, sir?
Yeah. Since I'm, on the show, or I have a show on Thursdays, and I thought it'd be really fun to do another one that's less structured, but is more conversational.
Right.
And you got to get a panel together. And these are some guys that I know that can talk and can hold a conversation. I hope. I hope. Nick ate a pretty big lunch before he came, so he might be a little.
Yeah.
That
Mario,
translates
that's
to
code.
Yes.
for smoking drugs.
Damn. All right. See, it's all going.
I have no comment on these comments.
It's gone to pot already. The show has.
Oh, amazing. The puns.
Hey, you know what? That 70s show took place in Wisconsin for a reason.
Oh,
I'm just saying.
because the writers were from here. Or,
Well, because, I mean, my dad, I remember my I don't have too many positive memories of my dad, but like one of the few is when I talked to him about that 70s show, and he said, the first time he saw it, he said, oh, can't say, somebody remembered.
somebody remembered the 70s.
Somebody remembered.
Which is actually, that's kind of a feat considering the amount of drugs that were probably used by
Right.
people in the 70s. So it makes sense. I understand your dad's.
It was the end of acid, the beginning of coke.
It was the end of acid. It was the beginning of coke.
There you
It
go.
was the 1970s in Wisconsin at Lambeau Field. All right. So
See, this is what I'm talking about.
this is what you're talking about. What are we talking about, by the way? Since we're a panel show, essentially, ostensibly, we are trying to do that. But we wanted to discuss a little bit like what brought us together. These three amigos of radio.
I mean, mostly it was, and you guys will co-sign this for me, but mostly it was just, we all had worked at the Miramar for a bit together before their change in management, and we became fast friends. We were already friends. Me and Nick were in a writing group together years ago, and me and Mr. Gausted, Keith, we frequent Linneman's River West End 1001 East Locust for the Monday night poetry set, and we usually sit out in the front area. When you go on the Linneman's, there's the actual theater space, which is in the back, and in the front they have a bar area, and so we would sit and watch TV, and over the years have become pretty good friends and sit around and talk about various subjects and try to annoy the bartender as much as possible. And so when Nick had approached us with the idea of doing There Goes the Neighborhood, it was something that we kind of really jumped on and just wanted it to be a platform for everybody to join in to the conversations that we have already been having out of vanity
Yeah.
Because we're smarter than you, and we feel like you should know it.
Wow.
The
I've
comments.
never. Let me just go back and read that. River Rust Radio is not liable for any legal issues arising from the content of this program, including declarations of our intelligence.
And superiority over all of humanity. Yes.
I can't actually claim any superiority over anyone anymore.
First white man ever.
First white man ever. It's, I was looking at my bank account statement and my We Energies bill, and I was just like, how come the We Energies numbers are so much bigger than my bank account? Wisconsin.
Indeed.
Gas bill in the wintertime.
Hey, it was deregulation, man. That was what the idea. It was supposed to lower our bills. You know what I mean? And still waiting on them lower bills, brother.
Yeah. Well, hey, let's talk a little bit about. We had a coin toss just before the show, and I really actually want to talk about this because the other names I liked a lot.
Right.
The only reason that we, well, not the only reason, we settled on the There Goes the Neighborhood out of coin toss at one, in kind of a round robin fashion, I believe.
Right.
But the other names that we had were great too. And so, Inebriated State Assembly was a possible idea for the show. Yeah, that was a good one. And then, what was the one you had, Nick?
The Glover Mob.
The Glover Mob, which is, give us a little brief history on that one.
Well, it was during the Civil War. There was a runaway slave named Joshua Glover who he made his way from can't remember where he came from, but he eventually made his way up to Racine, and they
It's Kenosha. He was from Kenosha.
He was from
No.
Kenosha. Oh. You see, you can't
Shouldn't
throw
eat
me
such a
off
big
like
lunch
this.
before you come in.
Yes, big.
That
lunch.
means smoking
Wink, wink.
pot.
Yeah.
Was
See,
all
I
that-
said wink, wink. You had to give it,
Yeah.
give the whole thing away.
Jeez.
That means smoking pot.
It means turkey sandwiches. Several turkey sandwiches with lots of spinach and lettuce.
And pot.
Marijuana leaves, man. They're on there. You can eat them like
Finish telling the story, Nick.
How you gonna tell me fish? So you're the one interrupting me. Anyway. So
That means pot.
Nick.
So anyway,
Right.
So anyway, they the feds caught him and they put him in the jail here downtown Milwaukee. And the community got wind of it, and literally everybody came down to break this man out of jail and send him on a boat up Lake Michigan to Canada. And it's kind of depressing to look back on that and realize that we really, Wisconsin was a much more progressive state in the 19th century than it is now.
Interesting.
Now it's I feel like we really need some of that back. You had all, and this was not a politically correct time, and you had people of all races and all ethnicities coming together and just seeing the big picture, and we just don't see the big picture anymore.
Yeah.
We're so, especially as a state, we're so divided into our little segments, and nobody's really looking outside of, well, I want to say nobody, but the I guess for now we'll just say that the forces in power
Okay.
right now are not seeing beyond.
The Republicans in the state house is kind of what you're inferring, I believe, but
Right.
also the general population outside. We had like some in-depth conversations about Wisconsin as a kind of political testing ground for right-wing Republican ideas, not just ideas, in terms of like what they want to do politically, but how to really deal with left-wing protests and radicals going back to like the 60s and probably even earlier. And we had discussions about that at different times. And I think that's like kind of what the show is also, there's an undercurrent of that
Right.
to what we're doing here. And I think like the whole idea of us getting together and just chatting about that stuff and maybe talking about the Packers once in a while, just because, we're all three of us huge Packer fans. It's going to happen eventually. We're probably going to cry about a loss and overcompensate, celebrate with a win, once in a while, That's just what Packer fans do.
On occasion, I don't think that Wisconsin as a state is so much a testing ground per se, but because of all the ruralism, because we have so much of the populace spread out so far, it's easier to influence people the wrong way. You know, there's there's an undercurrent of hatred towards Milwaukee throughout the state, and
right.
so you know, when you get further north, you know, Milwaukee's looked at as big city stink. You know what I mean? And so they use that to manipulate people into taking what are good ideas and crushing them. I mean, it's sad to think that we were, like you said, that we were such a progressive state, and that we have been
Going
duped,
backwards.
right? Duped into going backwards. You know what I mean? By people that that don't have the best interests of the populace at heart. But I mean, that just kind of struck a chord with me to think about the Glover mob and you know, that these were the good people. We had a socialist governor forever.
We had 3 socialist mayors.
Hey, Nick, can you swap my headphones
Oh,
over?
yes.
I think you're doing good with the mic.
Okay.
I want Mara to hear that. Sorry, we've our River West Radio. We've only got 2 headphones at the moment. So we're just like switching around and letting everybody know what's going on here.
Yeah, we had 3 socialist mayors. I know Frank Zeidler, Dan Hone. Can't remember who the third one is, but we also had one socialist congressman, Victor Berg, who you know, he was actually reelected while he was in jail.
He actually wrote Social Security, the first person to introduce Social Security to Congress.
I didn't know that.
See the little things I know.
Right. that's
This is what you get when you watch Tavis Smiley a lot.
That's
Right.
true.
This
What?
nuanced information.
This is the Tavis Smiley show of Milwaukee right here. I don't know. It takes 3 of us to do one thing that he does. But
Yeah. So.
we don't have a suit between us, probably.
Anyway, but the
Right.
progressive, but just the whole progressive leanings of Wisconsin have been thwarted by, you know, this right wing, this Republican fear, you know, and I mean, I hate to say it, but it does have a racial undercurrent. You know what I mean? Like, elect this black man as president, and there were individuals that climbed out of the woodwork, and I think there were ideologues already in the state that had right wing leanings.
Definitely.
Then you add them, you couple them with the racist bastards, you know, and now you got a movement. But anyways, back to more lighthearted fare.
Nah.
Wrestling.
Well, you see, that's why we have to mix it up once in a while, because one of the other
That
names
means
for the
five.
show that I thought of was trying not to curse.
Right.
that was the initial.
That
initial name. Of
That is what I was referring
Because-
to when it said, you know, which
Yeah.
one's gonna screw up first. You know, I feel like
I feel like we got to get the 7 words like on a
Right.
poster around here for the sake of us at one time or another, just in case some of us eat a big lunch before we come in and we forget what we're doing.
That means smoking pot.
I'm just saying, you know, some of us are in certain frames of mind right now. You know, like Jim Morrison from The Doors, and
Really? Jim
Another-
Morrison from The Doors, huh? You're thinking about wearing leather pants,
and
not
dancing
changing
like a
them for
snake.
months at a time?
you know,
That's
why
it,
is it
that's
that
it.
whenever a man puts on leather, it's not a jacket or shoes? You know that people want to say something about it. I mean, I don't get why is it okay to wear a leather jacket but not leather anything else?
Well, pants though?
Well, I mean, in the West,
Why
Cowboys
can't a
wore
man
le-
just wear chaps? That's what I want to
Well,
know.
that's what I'm saying. Cowboys wore leather pants.
Madness.
Yeah, and they shot people. Right. Because everybody was making fun of them, and so they shot everybody. It's like, don't you talk about my chaps, I'll shoot you dead, son.
I'm not saying I want to wear leather pants. I'm just saying.
It sounds
why
like you're
would-
saying
why
you
would I
want to wear
not be
leather
able to?
pants. It does.
It does sound like you're trying to-
It sounds like
Well,
you're
I'm just saying, I would
advocating
like to have the
for
option
leather
open to
pants.
me. That's all I'm saying.
What fabric is that your jacket is made of right now? Is it?
This is leather.
That is leather. Could you find leather pants that
That would
look like
match
that?
that.
I don't-
Nick
yeah,
has
I'm not
red
sure.
stripes on the shoulder going down the cuffs. If you had leather pants that had red stripes going down the side, they look like an Adidas leather. It would be the bomb. I'm just saying. I would like that. I would like that on Facebook.
I would clearly take a photograph of that.
Yeah. And
You
then
know,
it would-
I'm not sure I wanted leather pants like that till just now.
all right?
I'm concerned that you want leather pants at all.
They're gonna have to be tailor made. You know, that's the thing about leather pants. You can't really gain any weight after you make
And
those.
the
Yeah,
show,
and that's another reason. That's another thing. that will
ladies
prevent
and
me from
gentlemen, the
wearing
show just started being about leather pants.
The Leather Pants Radio Network.
All all leather pants all the time.
Well, in Wisconsin, you can't wear leather pants because most of us have big thighs. And do you really want big leathery thighs? I mean, on a man?
Yeah, that's
kind of
that's
wrong.
not- yeah.
And then where hey, I see your bratwurst is like over there on your left side today.
Yeah, but we live in
That's
River
not-
West, so I think people aren't so averse to seeing men in leather pants here.
I guess. And
Maybe.
PBR T-shirts for some reason.
PBR T-shirts and leather pants. That's the name of the show. We're changing it every second of the show.
I have no idea. But yeah, so I drank some coffee, which is not a euphemism for pot. But I really drank some coffee, so I'm trying to wake my mind up. I was waiting for them to deliver my internet thing. We switched to AT&T from Time Warner Cable, and the delivery guy hasn't showed up yet, so I was kind of late to the meeting that we had before the show. And
The coin toss before the show.
yeah, which was awesome. I lost every coin toss as I always do, but I always suggest doing the coin toss. I don't understand why because I never win coin tosses.
There's something racial about that, but
No, how? Like black people don't toss coins? Well, what are you talking about?
no.
It makes
It's that you always, you want to do the right thing, but it doesn't work out.
Oh yeah, well yeah.
It doesn't work out in your favor.
Yeah, that's being a Democrat.
That's it. Yeah, that's not so racial as it is. Kind of, bipartisanship. What a great idea. Oh, you don't like doing anything I suggest?
Now we gotta love them more than they love us.
Oh, jeez.
Oh jeez.
See, that's what the Democrats need. They need to just say, "Oh, geez," some more.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez. Oh, geez. And eventually, people are
Malarkey.
going to get sick of hearing that, and they're going to vote with them.
Malarkey.
Oh yeah,
He
Biden
did say
said that.
malarkey. I couldn't believe that.
I mean, but you have to love a man that's that close to cursing in high level politics at all times. Like,
Yes.
even Paul Ryan, where sometimes you don't say the right thing. He's like, yeah, but I mean what I say.
Yeah.
Yes, you do, sir.
Sometimes
Yes, you
those
do.
pans are already clean. That's just how it is for
I
Paul
would
Ryan.
just like to say one of the main things that made me want to start this show is because the events that have taken place in this state over the last 2 years have really made me ashamed to be from here. And I've
Wow.
never been ashamed to be from Wisconsin before. But it's
Yeah.
I don't know.
I feel, I don't know. I just always, whenever I leave state now, I feel like I gotta explain something, because the topic comes up.
No, I know. It's kind of like being from the South and having to explain deliverance to people.
right. Scott
We
Walker
don't-
is our deliverance.
He's our special needs person playing a banjo.
He is
I think of
our.
him more like your uncle who touches little boys, and you got to keep reminding
Makes
people
him squeal like a
don't
pig.
go in the basement with Uncle Leroy because he may
Uncle Scotty.
Uncle Scotty may touch you.
Uncle Scotty.
You know what I mean? Don't leave the kids alone with Uncle Scotty because he might touch them.
I
and he's
just
got
can't
monkey
believe.
butt on the back of his head.
Yeah. Well, we know
that's
why
horrible.
that election didn't work out in the recall. I think the three of us probably know. It was Barrett was the guy running against him.
Right, and I mean, I've never voted for Barrett before, except for as governor. And part of the reason I want him to be governor is, one because it would be helpful to have somebody who's actually going to stand up to this anti-bias Milwaukee and Wisconsin. But the other is just because I don't want him to be mayor anymore.
Oh, wow.
He's
Wow.
He's very inside the box. He's just not what the city needs.
Nick Kovac, if you're listening, we'd vote for you for mayor.
Gwen Moore, if you want to come back home.
One more, come on back home.
But no, I think that the reason why Scott Walker beat Barrett twice is because Barrett is the candidate. He is the blandest.
I said
white
he's
man
got a
in North
John
America.
Kerry quality
Yeah.
about him.
Yes.
Like he's competent and educated, and he can hold position, and he would do a good job. But nobody will vote for him. That's the same thing with John Kerry in 2004.
It's
I
not,
thought.
and it's not dislike, it's apathy.
Yeah.
It's like,
Exactly.
exactly
man,
the problem.
that guy.
So, and the thing is, it's like he didn't even know how to produce himself as a candidate. I thought the guy defended an old lady from getting beaten with a pipe.
Right.
I mean, he went into a coma. You can't sell that to people.
Yeah.
You can't
Right.
make people believe in you, and you did that. Then you've really got a problem with who you got on your press corps team or whatever. You gotta sit down. You gotta hire the guys on this radio station to do that.
But no,
because we all need jobs.
and then you
Thanks to Miramar.
you campaign in upstate Wisconsin in a way that doesn't endear you to them. You campaign as a Milwaukeean in upstate Wisconsin. And what Walker is real good at is that folksy,
Oh, yeah.
I'm part of your community.
I'm from Wauwatosa, which is not quite Milwaukee. What a that
yeah.
just sickens me.
I mean, but and I'm not ashamed to be from Wisconsin. I mean, it just is what it is. But I am ashamed of Paul Ryan, and I don't have to explain Paul Ryan to people because I didn't vote for Paul Ryan. Rice Priebus is a jerk face.
Oh, Reince Priebus. By the way, if you haven't heard this before, Reince Priebus actually means white power in some Eastern Russian language.
Really?
No, but that's what I'm telling everybody.
Okay.
And I think everybody
This
should.
information starts here.
Reince power. I mean, Reince Priebus. I mean.
And for those who don't know, Rice Priebus is the head of the Republican National Committee or whatever.
And he's a jerk face.
Yeah, and he's a jerk face. And the reason why Paul Ryan moved up so quickly in the party is the Rice Priebuses.
Reince Priebus.
And it means pot.
It means white power.
But and the Rice Priebuses of the world they're trying to take apart Medicare.
Yeah.
And it's this old Social Security discussion that we keep having to have every 20 or 30 years, where they want to go back and repeal Social Security. I mean, we've solved this. Where it's going to exist, but they want to scale it back. And you know, for whatever that's worth, as a discussion, I'm not going. You know, you're either on one side or the other of it. But just the brashness of Rice and the coded language he uses, and I'll be a little bit more prepared. I can bring up a couple of quotes that he's made that are nearly racial, and he just is close to using the N-word. You know what I mean? Like, urban means what you thought it meant.
Well, you want to go you want to talk about somebody almost saying some stuff who kind of did say some stuff. Did you catch Tommy Thompson's son on the chair the other day?
No.
Yeah.
He was talking, he was just riffing with the audience.
Where was he at? It was like a
And
town
he's
hall
like,
or whatever?
yeah, it's some kind of like fundraiser thing or like a campaign rally thing. I can't remember where it was. It was probably not downtown Milwaukee. But he was on the trail and he said, we got to get together. We gotta get Romney in the White House and send Obama back to Chicago or Kenya or wherever he's from.
Wow.
He said that, and it's on film on someone's camera phone.
Again, embarrassment. It's just
Well, that's part of the reason why you got to go to those Republican things and take your camera out. Just be that guy in the crowd. Everyone's gonna be like, "Hey, Nick, how come I saw you down at the RNC convention?" It's like, and you just tell them like, I was just trying to film them saying some racist stuff. Can you blame me? No one will blame you for doing that because it's a watchdog thing. You got to do it.
The easiest way to defeat the Republican candidates is to let them talk. That was Barack's whole thing last, because you guys said you didn't watch the debate. His whole thing last night during the debate was, you know what? Go ahead, Romney, finish that.
Did he? Okay, I did not watch because I had to work last night.
Okay.
Like one night a week that I work, and Nick was eating a big dinner, so he didn't catch it. What happened last night at this town?
So Candy Crawley, she's a CNN.
Candy?
Candy Crawley, kind of heavy set
What's
lady.
she? Heavy set. How? Like, is it?
Like she's
Is it
had a
good?
few extra snickerdoodles in her life. She's a big one, but which is not really the point. But she was a bit heavy-handed during as moderators go. I don't think she did a bad job. I think she had a little bit more control than the previous moderator did, and wasn't as inappropriately questioning as the vice presidential moderator, in my opinion. But what I'll say about the debate was they tried to do it like a town hall meeting, kind of.
Yeah.
So they had both of the candidates on stage, some stool cheers, two of them, and the candidates were facing the moderator. And then it was supposed to be 2-minute question and answer periods and then a 2-minute discussion period. But what it ended up being was point, counterpoint, rebuttal, where they were both supposed to be participating in the conversation. They weren't able to. They tried it. So the first go around, when they were actually doing the discussion thing, Romney was interrupting the president, and the president was interrupting Romney, and it was kind of like a standoff. I mean, it was really uncomfortable. Like, you thought maybe they were going to not come to blows, but it was just like, ooh, what's going to happen? And so they, because of the uncomfortableness of talking together and discussing the point, they stopped doing it. And so, you know, and again, I'm not for Romney, but I will admit that at times it didn't seem fair because it was point, counterpoint, rebuttal, and you like, well, he doesn't get a chance to rebut, so Romney kept trying to jump in to rebut the rebuttal, and the moderator would, you know.
So people have more
step in.
questions direct, because the way that I understand it is people would direct questions to the candidates.
Well, they had, yeah. So what? So the
So
idea
more people were directing them towards Obama then.
No, they went back and forth. Each of the questions were designed for the candidate. So the question would be, what was one of them? Oh, ask Romney, how are you different than George W. Bush? So then he got to answer that, and I don't remember what he said. And then
I'm a Mormon. That would be the first answer.
I have dark hair.
I look like Frankenstein.
So yeah, and so so then he would answer that. Then President Obama would say something, and then Romney got to rebut it, and then the president stuck in 30 seconds of rebuttal of the rebuttal. But it was supposed to be a discussion period, but the two guys
They can't talk
They
together.
can't talk to each other.
No, that's the thing. And the problem, I think, I don't. Again, I gotta go back
It's
and
far
watch
too
this.
confrontational.
It's confrontational.
Yeah, I mean, and that was the whole.
No, they don't like each other. Like, it's pretty obvious. Like, those two guys really don't like each
I
other.
suppose I don't know each other. They've only met each other twice.
Obama, I don't think, and McCain, I don't think they hated each other.
Not
I
like
don't think
this.
they disliked each other. I actually get the sense that these two dudes do not get along, and it has a little bit to do, you know, more than a little bit to do, I think, with the kind of attack ads that they've been running on each other.
Right.
But beyond that, their ideologies are so far apart in some ways.
I have no idea. As far as I don't know Mitt Romney, but I will say this: I am embarrassed as an American citizen for the nature of the debates.
Oh.
That maybe in 1846 it was okay to be this confrontational, even though I was entertained by the antics of the Vice President of the United States during his debate and calling that man a liar to his face ostensibly.
But you got to do it because Paul Wright is a liar.
Yes.
Well,
But
and on top of that, you know what happened, you know, with Romney, you know, and Obama with the last debate, you
Right.
know,
Where he fell asleep.
right?
He didn't.
and that was, you know, and
He had a
that was
big
kind
dinner
of-
before that debate.
But I mean, we to be the greatest. I mean,
means
it's
five.
salacious, and to be the greatest country on the face of this earth, two men should be able to stand in the room and with respect discuss.
Wait,
a
we're
point.
China?
No, they bring guns to their floor. You know what I mean? People get
We
stopped.
said we're the greatest country in the world.
Oh, we are the greatest country in the world. Free. I mean, we had a freedom of speech. Though they attempt to strangle the freedom of speech out of us.
You guys see that van over there? Oh, I'm just kidding.
So-
Don't do that too much on Nick. He had a big lunch.
I'm a black. I'm a black man.
Nick will fly out the back door. Mario's gonna duck and cover. I'll be the only one left here talking to myself.
Right.
Dudes, I was just kidding. There aren't FBI agents looking at us right
now. But no, so it's embarrassing, man. You know, we supposed to be better than that. But I mean, it was just you know, my problem with Romney and this whole discussion, for me is you can say anything if you gonna lie. It's hard to have an argument with a debate with somebody when they not using the truth. You understand what I'm saying? Like, there are unicorns outside. You're like, no, they're not. Yes, there are. There are no unicorns outside though. Like, you know what I mean? So it doesn't make sense.
Now, if I had that on, it would be a perfect time to play the unicorn song. I can't seem to see no unicorn.
Oh Lord, but yeah. So I mean, when you're not concerned with the truth, you can say anything, and that was what Romney did because he doesn't care about telling the truth. You can
Leather
win any
pants
argument.
would be great on you, Nick.
I have nothing to say to that.
Again, this is not true. That's how he worked that.
What?
So that's how he worked that in.
Clearly, it is true. I said it.
Oh yeah, that's what I love, and that was the big one. I love that about Romney's tax plan, about balancing the budget. He says, I wanna do a 20% reduction in taxes across the board for everybody. So how are you gonna pay for this? I mean, we don't take it in this income. How you gonna pay for it? I'll pay for it. Just trust me. Well, tell us how you gonna do it. Elect me, and then I'll tell you. Like, I don't like what? It just doesn't make sense. Like, yeah. Buy this box. It's full of magic.
Yeah. See, but here's the difference, though. Mm-hmm. I can listen to any. I know some people that are voting for Romney this election.
I'm sorry.
I don't understand why, especially in some of their cases.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't want to go into any personal stuff. But what I don't get about their view is they don't hardly have, and this is an interesting thing about Republicans and conservative people in general, any criticisms for their party.
Right.
They're like, well, I'm voting for Romney, but I don't really like this about him.
Mm-hmm.
They're all in. When they vote for a guy, they're like, no, this is my guy, and it's very, very strange. And I don't know how you feel.
It's almost religious.
And I don't like that about it. And that's the thing that I think.
Well, that makes perfect sense, though, when you consider the direction that party has taken, pretty much since Bush took office.
Yeah, but they're recording and I said this once, they recorded the evangelical Christians, and now they got a Mormon and a Catholic on the card. Right. I don't understand how they're recording the evangelicals still. Who are these evangelical Christians that are voting for? Because I'm not trying to be weird or anything about it, but look, if your party is like, hey, marriage is between one man and one woman, so we're going to vote for the guy whose religion has a history of one guy marrying several women. What are you doing?
Talking about, right?
You're just.
I will say, I was actually watching, I was watching Channel 30 last night. Channel 30, it's hilarious for all the wrong reasons. I don't know if you
VCY. I love that show. I don't get it anymore. VCY is it's like Christian television, but you can get it. You don't have to have cable to get it.
It's like some guy in a basement popping in videotapes from 1992.
Yeah, no, it's old stuff. What I do enjoy, or did enjoy, I don't get it anymore on the digital. Once I got the digital box for whatever reason, but I used to enjoy. They'd have the history of rock and roll and Satan type things.
Oh, yeah.
That was a fun show because I had forgotten about Robert Johnson for some reason. And I was like, whoa, Robert Johnson's pretty amazing. I got to go dig him up. So I went to the library and I started checking out all that old blues stuff from the Delta blues era and the 30s and stuff. That stuff's great. So thanks VCY for reminding me about how awesome Delta blues are.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Listen, the whole religious right argument and the fact that they, support Romney. Look, man, I'm not voting. I run out of arguments about why not to vote for Mitt Romney. First of all, like they said last night, the tax plan he had is the same tax plan that George Bush had, and trickle-down economics doesn't work. If you lower taxes on the rich, they don't spend more money, they just keep the money.
And they do spend it, but they spend it outside of the U.S. mostly on their companies that they're putting up over there.
The investment capital that rich people have, our companies have, is going to be invested regardless. It's about growing the company. If you lower their taxes, they keep that money in the bank.
Yeah.
One of the great things that rich people do that poor people don't is save money.
Well, because they can.
Right. They have money to save.
Poor people can't save money. I don't have any money to save.
Well, that's the American way. We live outside our means, and then they'll give you a little car so you can spend money you ain't even got. I know people.
Yeah, but if outside your means, is me trying to eat organic food because I don't want to eat the processed crap that is $2 cheaper because I don't want to get cancer when I'm 60.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? That's not outside my means. That's food that I should be getting in the first place.
Right.
This other crap you shouldn't have it. That's just my that's a whole other show we could spend on it. But my point is the very basics of life are now becoming such that you can't afford them if you're poor. People can't afford to put gas in their cars. Does any of us? None of us have a car.
No.
I forget.
But what
you do have a car.
But what I'm saying about that is that, okay, that's fine. I know people that are living from check to check. Almost everybody that I know is living from check to check, and their bills and the money they come in match up, are close enough to it so that they can get enough credit to keep this monkey rolling. You know what I mean? And I was telling my friend the other day, if I had $1 million, I would still be doing the things that I do and I would just have $1 million, I would probably buy more shirts.
$1 million.
But and so I mean, I don't understand what people's what their desires are. Like, what do you expect? And so so when you got this illusion of everybody's going to be part of this millionaire group, and 98% of us won't. And I mean, I want to tell everybody, like, yeah, you can be a multimillionaire, but you probably won't. So I mean, generally speaking, you just probably won't.
Yeah, most of the people I know that are Republicans are just temporarily embarrassed millionaires, to quote John Steinbeck. Like, I'm gonna make that $1 million next year. I'll tell you what. And you want to hold their hand, just be like, look, you're kind of
working at Five Guys. Like,
you're really stupid, and you're not very good at anything you do. You're gonna be poor like me for the rest of your life, because I'm kind of stupid and not good at stuff that I do sometimes. And we're not that far apart in the gene pool, my fellow white man.
my Republican friend.
My Republican friend. You know.
Oh, that is hilarious. But yeah, so it's hard, but it's hard to tell people. I don't want to crush people's dreams, but you're a bit of a dummy, and I don't. You barely passed the proficiency test. But you want me to believe you want to be a millionaire? I don't understand what you and they give you credit cards. That's what bothers me. Like, then they give them credit cards, and and you leave your kids with mounds and mounds of debt. I mean, they cart out this whole thing about, Obama is trillion dollar deficit. You are aware that y'all broke everything right before this man got his job. You know what I mean? It's like your cousin wrecks your car, then comes back 3 years later and you still ain't got it fixed, and be like, man, you still ain't got the car fixed? Like, yeah, but you wrecked it. Like, you the one that destroyed it. Like, and he can't lean on that. It takes you can't break everything. It wasn't a snafu. They didn't drop a dish. They burnt the house down effectively. Yeah. And the fact that he kept the roof from caving in ought to be
that ought to be enough, along with killing Bin Laden,
which he didn't do with his bare hands. But what I'm saying,
well, no, but the fact is he did the green light thing and it's questionable, and we could talk about like breaking other nations' sovereignty with entering their borders illegally to have a citizen executed that's not yours. Yes, that's all very questionable, but it's a little tit for tat on that one.
I wouldn't vote for Romney if they found pictures of Obama with 4-year-old little girls in his penis out. I couldn't vote for Mitt Romney because he wants to. I couldn't think of anything that Obama could do that would make me. It's not even a discussion in my mind. There is not that man. Mm-hmm. There may be a Republican somewhere that could come up with a plan that would make Mario go, maybe. But it ain't Mitt Romney, because I don't believe anything that he says. Like, because he said he was a moderate Republican, nearly Democrat, who had a few fiscal ideas that were conservative. But generally speaking, I mean, look, if you look at all the great crap he did in Massachusetts, from the opening up the health care, they had a program. He talked about the program they had to get kids in school, and all of these great things that he did for the state of Massachusetts, he's completely turncoated on. He sold his soul
for rock and roll,
to the devil. I mean, sorry. And I just can't believe a word he says, man. No. And Obama's full of crap too. Don't get me wrong, man. I know that he signed the what's it called? The one act.
The Patriot Act came back under him, and he let it go again.
He signed the Patriot Act back into effect. Do I agree with the positioning of the troops in the Middle East and how that affects the way that America looks to the world? Are we looking weaker? In some ways, I think maybe we are.
Yeah.
I believe if Mitt Romney were to be elected president, we're going to go to war with Iran before his first 4-year term is over with.
Well, I don't know. We may go to war with Iran before anybody's. That has less to do with who's president than anything. But I will say,
I think the clock on it is going to tick faster if Romney's.
Well, that's the Armageddon that's on December 21st. We've pretty much decided Armageddon is a place in Israel. It's actually a physical place. And the Iranians have it targeted.
But I think if he gets to be president, we on a fast track to war. I mean, we are. He's not. his ability to negotiate
Well,
is suspect.
He's not gonna. I don't even think that's like a concern for a Republican candidate. Is like if we can get into a war, if we can bulk up the military-industrial complex in any way, let's do it, because that's where we're at our best. Because that's the only thing that they like to invest in. Because basically we're like the Securitas for like the rest of the nation or the rest of the countries now, and you know. And it's not in a good way necessarily. I'm not even trying to say that we're promoting democracy in a lot of these places. We're not. We're defending resources that we want access to. That's my opinion.
Oh, yeah.
And that's, you know.
I mean,
totally
yeah,
backed by
human
some
rights
facts,
offenses
but-
mean nothing like that.
Oh yeah, the
Don't-
drones like, killing kids. I mean, let's face it. If this isn't the drone wars, what is? You know, like.
wow. But yeah, and I'm not anti-American. Don't get it twisted. I think America does do good in the world. I'm not saying that we don't. But
Yeah.
at the same time, you know, the corporations, the big business, they run things, man. They the ones with the money. And, you know, for the regular Americans to bail out the big banks. Look, they was talking about the crash. My child's mother was saying, well, you know, it was almost the end of the world with the banking situation. I said, actually, it wasn't the end of the world. The banks were just gonna go under, and I didn't have no money in AIG.
Yeah.
And if the
It wouldn't have mattered
to
to the poor people, to the bulk of the country. That would not have mattered,
wouldn't.
and that was kind of the point of, I think, of the Occupy people. Is like whatever goes on here, it won't affect the fact that we're still living in tents. You know, and
I
so-
mean, it wouldn't have did nothing to me, dog. I don't have no money in AIG, and they said, well, you know, you're not gonna get bread, and the shipping lanes will stop. You know, there was a time where there weren't really big banks, and you went to a farmer and you got your eggs, and as long as people want eggs and bread, there'll be eggs and bread. You guys just wasn't gonna be running things no more, playing a game that you guys were playing. It's awesome when you can't lose. It's awesome when you can't lose. You know, they came and repoed my car. Wasn't no big thing about, you know what I'm talking about? Like, hey, we got to save Mario's car. This can't happen. He's too big to fail. You're not too big to fail. If you make a mistake, everything they said, it's what fundamentally. See, I'm getting a little.
Trying not to curse.
It's it's the fundamental problem I have with the Republican Party is you say to me that if, as a Republican, that if you run a crappy business and you make mistakes, that you have to pay the consequences. That's what you told General Motors. That's what you told the whole of America. You said people need to be taken. What did Ronnie say? People aren't being responsible for their own lives.
Well, the 47%,
Right.
which we are a part of.
Right. But as one of the 47%ers, well, what about when you guys got all that money from everybody to save your banks when you weren't being responsible with your funds? Then you go under. And then you hedge your bets with AIG by buying insurance so you can't lose. Now, AIG ain't got the money to, I don't want to get too deep into that, but AIG can't lose, and it's not fair. It was a last attempt for the normal guy to even the playing field. They screwed up, and it was time to start over.
Yeah.
And we'll never get it again. They'll never let it happen. You know what I mean?
Well, because like the 47% aren't armed. I mean, to be honest, like the 47% that they're talking about are the people that don't want to like actually physically assault people for fun, like the people that support Castle Doctrine and crap like that.
Wow.
That's just my, you know, like. Oh, if I get a chance to shoot somebody that comes into my home, I can't wait. I'll love to shoot somebody. It's like, really?
And
like,
that is
that's a
what's behind
mentality.
it. I mean, and, you know, and you look at how guns are just glorified, in the States, especially up north. especially
Crandon. I mean, places like Crandon.
Right.
Sorry, Crandon.
Right.
But,
And then,
but yeah, it's like people will that's what they do. They're not hunting deer, they're shooting, cans off of fences, or they just want any excuse to
They're shooting cans off the top of meth heads.
probably now, yeah.
Of the northern Wisconsin.
bath salts.
Bath salts.
But my problem with
Chippewa
the
Forest. Sorry.
the problem with the assault weapons ban is you go to these gun shows, right? They say, so now we don't want AK-47s on the street. That's what they said during the debate last night. And then you go to these gun shows and they sell AK semi-automatics, and then right next to it they sell a kit to turn it into an automatic gun. So it's not legal to have an automatic gun, but we can sell you a kit to make it an automatic gun.
I've never been to a gun show. Is that a thing?
Yeah, that's the thing. But I like guns, and I don't have a problem with people having guns. My problem is, let's just be honest about why you got the gun.
I'm writing this down.
If
Black
you-
guy has no problem owning guns.
You know,
If you have an AK-47, you intend to use it to kill people.
I mean, I don't have a
not
problem
a-
with guns
it's not
either.
a
You know,
hunting.
I've owned guns in the past. I don't currently own one, but you know, and I may someday again. You know, it's just the people. I just feel like a lot of people in this state, especially those who who are part of this whole culture that we're talking about. You know, they've become so detached from just. I don't know. I don't want to get like too deep and be like, they
Get
become
deep
detached
in it, man. Just don't swear. That's the point of this show.
No profanity.
But you know, it's just they've physically isolated themselves from other people. You know, the
Sure.
people they do interact with are share their sociocultural background. Say come from the same economic background, come from the same cultural background. You know, and to them,
the same gene pool.
I wasn't gonna take it that far, but thank you. But and I really think that plays into. I really think that plays into a lot of how they look at how they look at that's why that racial undercurrent is there. That's why the anti-Milwaukee, anti-urban bias is there. That's why.
Dun 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 dun. Sorry, I got dueling banjo stuck in my head. I don't know why.
But that's really that's really how it happens. We've gotten so isolated from. And even in Milwaukee to an extent, there's still, I mean, I think the whole segregation thing is very misframed. I'm not saying that it doesn't exist. I'm saying that the way people look at it is, makes it a lot, makes it a lot. Cause I mean, look at where we are right now. There's not.
We're in Casablanca.
Right.
That's what River West kind of is.
And I mean. I'm in an interracial relationship.
You are.
Yeah, and I've never had any problems here. Not that should be the only baseline that we measure. How I guess.
Is it awesome? I'm just kidding.
but
I'm trying to get how you gonna bring this back to.
I know. That's why I'm messing with him.
I had a full lunch.
I think you just
He had a
wanted
big
to-
lunch, guys.
It means spot. I think you just want to tell everybody you date a black chick. Go ahead, man. Finish your story.
Mario,
yes.
do you also date a black chick?
Yeah, occasionally. She
I
has a black boyfriend too.
I have not yet dated a black chick. I feel like I'm missing out.
I don't know.
The phone number here is 414-935-2951.
I know. I'm saying.
If you're a black chick,
No freaks, please.
I have to bring this back to something. I thought that was.
No,
Yeah.
you were getting deep into it, but you were getting
That's what
lost.
she said. Oh,
Excuse me. Coming back around.
Anyway,
Not liable
yeah,
for
I
any
kind of-
legal issues
When I
arising from the
kept getting
content.
interrupted, I think I lost my train of thought a little bit,
Yeah.
Mario. But yeah.
What kind of train was it? Was it a night train?
it was a midnight train to Georgia. Yeah, I got it.
Man.
But
He just wanted to tell everybody he dates a black girl. Anyway, that was
Mario.
the whole point of the.
That
it
was
the
not
point
the
of the
point of
statement.
that discussion.
Well, it was Rhinelander. I have a black girlfriend.
Rhinelander, I have a black.
I've never even been to Rhinelander.
See, now you're just pissing him off over there.
I don't care.
You're going to bring out the furious side
Yeah, I kind of have a certain reputation around here.
for leather
And
pants.
dating black girls.
And wearring leather pants.
While dating black girls.
And looking great in leather pants.
dating black girls.
I have not worn a single pair of leather pants in my life. I feel like for some reason I have to make that clear.
Uh-huh.
Right.
He just wanted to tell everybody that he
I'm not saying that
didn't wear leather
I'm
pants.
not open to it. If somebody gave me a pair of leather pants,
this
it
is
look
how-
good.
If you have a pair of
I'd be
leather
like,
pants
hey,
that fit
it's a
Nick,
pair
the
of
number for the
pants,
station is 414-935-2951.
And this is how people become gay. So like this is
All right.
This is how
Whoa.
I'm just saying. it
We're
starts
going to
with-
get into Mario's homophobia in a minute.
Yeah, this is,
And then we're going to eat a pasty. A big pasty that all three of us could have. It's Wisconsin.
I used to have this supervisor, so I had never had like the pasties or whatever, right? Pasties or whatever.
Pasties you put on nipples.
Pasty.
Pasties.
I never had a pasty before, so he had bought.
I never had a pasty either.
Anyways, so you do have a pasty white, but anyways, what I was saying was,
How would you know?
I don't know. It's on the internet. So
That's Brett Favre. You get us confused all the time. We both won the Super Bowl and have Vicodin addictions.
Right, that was what I was. You can't take the punchline too. You can't. Okay, anyway.
I own that. No.
Okay, the pasty story. So the pasty story. So my boss, he had this reputation for scratching his behind, man. Like he would. So we worked at a factory. So he would come around to your station, and watch you work to make sure that you were doing.
Was it over the jeans or under the jeans?
It was all in the thing. He was getting the taint, like he was tainting it, and he was in it deep, like he loved it, and occasionally it was almost
I just threw up in my
pornographic,
mouth.
right? And so he was like, "Oh yeah, I'm getting everybody pasties," because I was talking to him one day, he was like, "Yeah, I got pasty for lunch," and I was like, "Yeah, I've never had one of those before." Pasty, whatever, and whatever, it doesn't matter. So
you
the little
think
meat
it doesn't
pie.
Now you just pissed off.
You just lost the UP of Michigan with that statement.
We lost 1/8 of Michigan. Are you happy now?
Our listeners in Michigan, we apologize.
But
The UP.
Up yours. Anyway, so the whole UP.
UP yours?
UP yours, IP mine.
Excuse me?
What? So
Pasty.
butt
scratch.
So the guy would scratch his. He was
Rectum.
He was. He
Damn
was
near
in
killed
the,
him.
right. Sphincter of rectums. This is stupid at this point. But
Well, we only got 5 minutes left.
okay, so he would go around to the different stations. So he got the meat pies, right? Mm-hmm. And he was serving them up to everybody. But he grabbed them with his bare hands, these booty hands. So now you got to figure out a way to get it in the trash without him, because he is your boss. You know what I mean? But
You know what I would have done?
you got to try it. Take a bite.
You take them and you crack them like an egg over a toilet and dump the contents in, and then crumble up the crust into the toilet, and then flush. Maybe 2 flushes it might take, because there are carrots in it.
So then we went in the lunchroom, and one of the guys that was further, one of the other fellas that was further down the line for me, he walked in the lunchroom and he was eating it. Everyone's like, "Oh!"
Did you just walk up to go, "Hey, buddy, how's that taste? Is that good? Do you like that?"
I need to ask you something.
I'd like to talk to you about hygiene. My friend, do you have a moment?
Yeah, because that you are where he touched that with his
You know, he
his
had
ass hands.
He had his finger in his butt the whole time. And then he's
ass hand
ass hand pasty. It's pasty.
Oh, that's disgusting, man. How could you eat it? And he was eating. Oh, this is kind of good. Oh, it's not. You know, like yours?
There's corn on the outside too.
Oh, that's gross.
I win. Right, Priebus.
Rice Priebus eats asties.
That should be our show.
Oh, man. Do you think Reince Priebus scratches his butt and eats pasties? I bet he does. He's that kind of guy.
Apparently Canadian. That's for some reason. Go ahead.
He's from Kenosha. He's a
Kenosha.
Yes,
Probably,
yeah.
he needs to show some solidarity to northern Wisconsin in some
Yeah.
way, so he eats asties.
We gotta take it easy on the mic there, Mario. Don't laugh directly into the microphone. We almost had a laugh bomb here.
Oh, it's incredibly insane. Asties. Oh, that was horrible.
Nasty.
Yeah. So that's my story.
That's the story. That's good. I like that. That's Asties. We got that out of there. We can use that later on in a future program. And now people will have a frame of reference for it. If you didn't know what we were talking about, please see the last half of the first show.
Man, but yeah, so it's really great. So we got a few more minutes. Anybody got anything they want to plug in closing?
I got a show tonight at the Public House, and I'm reading some poems and reciting some poems in front of Jared Paul.
Yeah, so tonight at the River West Public House, 815 East Locust Street, there will be a poetry show. Downstairs Keith is a local poet, as am myself, I think. Anyway,
Asthma.
asthma.
Didn't know her. I don't know what that means.
I don't either.
I'm going backwards in time here.
So, a slam poet of national renown, the gentleman by the name of
Canadian renowned, isn't he?
No, he's American.
American?
He's from Rhode Island.
Yeah, he's from Seattle area, right?
That's why I thought
thought
from
so.
Rhode Island.
I have no idea.
Well, anyways, this is an evening with Jared Paul.
No one told me about this until I saw the flyer. And I-
Three-time individual world poetry slam finalist. He's been featured in CMJ Magazine, Canadian Broadcast
That's where I got it
Company,
wrong.
ZTV, and Providence Journal. He's a spoken word artist, a poet, and a social activist and musician. As this show for some reason was, he's quite political.
Which worries me because as political as I can get, I don't do that in a lot of my my poetry.
As you
So
were,
I'm
as
gonna
you
be
were.
like the odd man out probably at the show.
I'm going to be performing stuff, and I don't have any political poetry. 'cause
Oh,
I
you're
just
coming
don't
tonight to
believe-
that?
Yeah.
Okay, I thought you had a different gig. That
I
you did.
did, but it was tomorrow.
Oh,
Yeah. So I thought it was
you
today.
crazy guy.
Yeah. I got my math all messed up.
Alright.
I went to Milwaukee Public Schools. But what I was saying was, so Jared Paul tonight, again, that's at 815 East Locust Street at River West Public House. I'm not sure about the cover charge. Do you know what the cover is?
It says $3 to $5 suggested donation, which means they'll either strong arm you or they'll just politely ask. But
Yeah.
I got a feeling like you can get in for $3 to $5, and
Not, yeah.
I didn't mean to almost swear there, but it almost sounded like I did.
And then this Sunday. Sunday is the return of New Word Document, which is hosted by the guy that'll be hosting the events this evening, Adam Asher and myself.
There you go.
And the feature should be Inger Spitfire, but I have not gotten any information from her. So if she's listening to the show, she should probably send me her bio.
All right.
But Inger Spitfire is supposed to be the feature. It's gonna be a really awesome time, and that starts at 8:00. And again, that's at River West Public House, 815 East Locust Street. And it is $3 to get in, 2-for-1 drink special. We get you out the door no later than 10:30 for all those people with jobs.
I will. I wish I could make it. I actually have a show that night too for the November Criminals.
Well, y'all performing in?
So why not 3? We're opening for Subastral Sound System and
come after?
the Jones Island Flood. I think we're gonna go pretty late because there's 4 bands on.
Or
And the-
come early, get on the open mic, and then leave.
I could. I think we're starting at 7 though. I don't know what's happening. I don't know. Like I just like I can't remember. Like I think it starts at 7, but it's
Well, Sunday, River West.
Yeah.
Tonight is the Jared Paul show. If
Come
you've
to the Jared Paul
If
show.
you've never heard Jared Paul, I'm on a post him on my Facebook. My Facebook page is we don't have a page yet for the show, do we?
Well, we can make one, and we're going to have a page for the show on riverwestradio.com, so we'll be able to link all this good stuff up.
Okay, and I guess I can
And
put
then,
up a link of one of Jared. Can I do YouTube links on there?
You could do all kinds of stuff, but we got to close the show up. So
Oh, we get out of
thanks everybody for coming by and
Nick, wanna say
listening to
anything,
us.
Fully?
Yeah, I just want to, I got a weekly column in the fringe section of the UWM Post, and I have an op-ed column every other week. So.
All right, we'll put
We'll
links
get
to all
better.
that stuff
Okay.
up, man. No
Yeah,
problem.
and we'll get better at doing this closing the show thing for next time. So we'll see you guys next week, and then we'll have like a closing thing we say.
Sure.
Say bye, Keith.
Bye, everybody. Until next week.